In this edition of Kurukshetra, March 2022, we have focused on rural development. Now, rural development, first of all, coming onto the union budget, it targets for next 25 years, which we have already covered in our down-to-earth analysis previously. Two important things that we need to highlight here is, in the Amrit Kaal, we are talking about nearly 90 million workers who would be looking for gainful non-farm work opportunities between now and 2030. 55 million women could enter workforce by 2030, and the tax surcharges on cooperatives to be reduced from 12 to 7. Also, a e-bill system would be launched for procurement by all center ministries. Now, coming on to the high growth part, the first is we need to raise the aspiration levels, develop a long-term value creation mindset, also develop a winning capability, which is customer centric innovation, excellence in the field of working towards mergers, acquisitions, and partnerships. And then within the productivity, we would focus on creating labor market which is much more flexible, enabling power distribution to reduce the commercial and the industrial tariff by 20 to 25%. Technological development and new industrial tools, we would include light touch regulation, facilitative proactive action, open channel consultation, data driven evidence, agricultural development. Now, in agricultural development, Kisan Sarthi is a digital platform to negotiate over the price for the products in the regulated and the unregulated market. Then we have NABARD scheme for funding the agri-tech startups. Nutri cereal is where millets, etc., and the importance of them, the nutritional value of them has to be understood, and give remunerative prices to the farmers for the same. Also provide post-harvest value addition. Then providing MSP for agriculture. MSP for agriculture is important both for the wheat rabi and kharif paddy. Then is the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, which focuses on food security, sustainable agriculture, oilseed and agri extension. It also talks about Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Krishi Vikas Yojana, and rain-fed area development and climate change mission. The next is school education and learning. So after the COVID-19, there is a maintenance phase and restoration phase. Maintenance phase is where the existing facilities would be maintained, be it the midday meals, home learning, identifying the dropouts, bringing them back to the school. And in the restore phase, we are focusing on bridging the courses, mental well-being of the students, assessing the reforms, pedagogical reforms, and students registry. Then finally, the grow phase, where we focus on the achievements, the learning outcomes, and how to leverage the past resources to improve the quality and equitable education. Expanding the digital education through e-Vidya initiative. Then is using alternative academic calendar, use of radio, TV, 100 days reading campaign, Nishna online training for teachers, vocational education, digital university concept being laid down in this budget, focusing on the importance of information communication technology, learning enhancement package for all students to combat the impact in the pandemic, teacher resource package for hybrid mode of learning. Then is the Nari Shakti and the Yuva Shakti, which is laid down under the new education policy 2020, also focusing on the employment. So early childhood development, how the brain development occurs. Nearly 85% of the development occurs up to the age of 6 years. 80% of the brain development happens by the 3 years of age. So mission portion 2, which is nutritional mission, is important. Learning curve also influences the cognitive, motor, and the socio-economic development. We have seen that 27% of the children in the age group of 3 to 6 years did not attend any preschool. The preschool attendance was very less, and the time spent in the private school versus the Anganwadi, you can see how much is the time spent in the play-based activities. So focusing on quality education. During the pandemic, the availability for the smartphone was very low. However, it was increased, but still, we have seen only 27% of the children were able to use them for study. 47% were able to use it sometimes, and 26 were not able to use them at all. So 26% of the children were not able to use them at all. Radio broadcasts in the remote areas were done where internet facility was not available. Again, it had its own hindrances. Then we have schemes like Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, which talks about 100 days of guaranteed employment for 716 districts. Then Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, which talks about sponsoring the rural development and funding through the rural economic activities. National Social Assistance Program, which talks about age-old pension, widow pension, disability pension, and family benefits. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, our urban mission, which was launched in 2016, talks about catalytic interventions to rural areas and the threshold for the growth, focusing on equity and inclusiveness. Then allocation of Department of Land Resources under Ministry of Rural Development as two parts. One is the Digital India Record Modernization Program. The other is Integrated Watershed Development under Krishi Sinchai Yojana, which is the irrigation scheme. So farmers welfare, we have the Fasal Bima, the Kisan Samman, market intervention, Annadata Aay Sanrakshan, Kisan Man Dhan Yojana. So those are some of the schemes which have been released by the center and the state as a part of its mission. Then under technological transformation, digital development, building the digital development, BharatNet, which is the rural broadband connectivity optic fiber network, is important. Then also transforming the the industrial sector, where national carrier service is a solution for employment generation. E-Shram, which is a central database for unorganized sector, to be linking it with Aadhaar card. ASEEM, which is Atmanirbhar skilled employee-employer mapping based on artificial intelligence, would require various parameters. Infrastructural development, which is through PM Gati Shakti. Then we have more inclusive and financial investment programs, talking about various schemes of development for railroad transport is again important. So those are some of the important schemes that we have discussed here. Then we also focus on getting it the basis for socio infrastructure, animal husbandry, where fishing and Matsya scheme is extremely important. Alternate minimum tax has been reduced from cooperatives from 18% to 15%. We have Matsya Sampada, which talks about development of the fishery sector, focusing on inclusive agriculture. Then there are various sectors for the same. Fostering rural prosperity is one of those. The next is boosting agriculture, post-harvest value addition, modern technology to be included, inclusive development, where we talk about investment, sunrise opportunities, developing of tourism, technology sector, digital ecosystem, which is the Desh Stack e-portal, which helps to empower the citizen to build on skills and reskilling themselves. Saksham Anganwadi, which focuses on development of good Anganwadi spirit. Agri entrepreneurs, which focuses on entrepreneurs mainly related to agriculture, food processing, and agroecological work. Student Ready program, which is rural entrepreneurship awareness development program under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare to promote agri entrepreneurship. The Raftar scheme. Now, Raftar scheme is remunerative approaches for agriculture and allied sector rejuvenation, again under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. It strengthens the agriculture, the infrastructure in agriculture, promotes agri entrepreneurship and facilitates financial startup, prepares the businesses for the same. Sampada Yojana, which is for food processing and creation of infrastructure for agro processing chains, agri clinics and agri business centers to be established. Then is no one behind. Leave no one behind, leave no village behind. The idea is to make sure that all the villages are developed to the best. There is National Health Mission, Jal Jeevan Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission, Poshan Abhiyan as part of this. And under the Sustainable Development India Index, we have seen that there are 62 priority sectors which have been identified. And in the sustainable development goal of 2.0, we have seen that how this 16 goals, 54 national targets, and 100 indicators have been taken into account. In sustainable development 3.0, 17 goals, 70 targets, and 115 national indicators are taken into account. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Himachal are the best performers. Sustainable development 7, 11, and 12 have actually shown up or an increase. However, the sustainable development goals 3, 9, and 16, 6, 9, and 13 have shown a decline. Then is the concept of 5P, which is people, partnership, prosperity, and planet and peace at the district level, which would help the local self government to actually work in a better and a more refined way. So this was some of the schemes which were already pertaining to rural development. We have discussed these schemes separately in our previous lectures as well, and this was just a recap of those schemes again. Wish you very good luck for your upcoming examinations. Have a wonderful day ahead.